Last week, I finally quit my job to chase my dreams, with an asterisk, in order to finally become a full-time creator. I always knew there would be a day where I would finally take a risk and follow my creative passions, and that day finally came on a random Friday afternoon. I don't want to put too much on your plate now, but I've been thinking about it for a while, but I want to hand in like my notice and leave Essential.
Okay, what?
That was probably one of the hardest things I ever had to say to anyone in a professional workspace, especially because I really loved what I did. And there's a reason for all of that. Growing up, I was never the best at school, and I definitely didn't have any passions, especially anything creative. I got a DUD in A-levels and barely made it to uni. I only got in through enough merits to do a foundation degree in computer science, and only by passing the first year could it become a full bachelor's degree. Now, I mention all of this because it meant I had to work hard for it, which I did. For once, I was able to focus and work hard on something and actually have it pay off. It finally felt good to have something I was good at academically, and I found myself an intern job, which then took me straight into the corporate life upon graduating. And the fact that it was the first thing I've ever worked hard for, I could never think about giving it up. See, but here's the thing about me having a stable job, is that it made me free. Free to finally find my creative passions, and that's when filmmaking and content creation came in, which is the next thing in life I worked hard for. Balancing the content creation and the 9 to 5 was something I was happy with doing for as long as possible. I just felt like I needed the mundane and the funds to keep content creation just a passion for me. Though the balance got harder within the past couple months. There were days where I'd finish work and have to go straight to a shoot or an event, and there were weekends I had to sacrifice in order to have shoot days for brand deals, or take paid time off in order to attend shoots abroad. It was hard, but I made it work. All I knew was I had to make the jump once I could no longer balance both. So I decided to draw the line once the 9 to 5 would stop me from taking great creative opportunities. One of those being Creator Camp. The camp that literally changed my life and brings me to where I am today. I'm not gonna delve too much into it because I made a 1.5 hour video on it, but it was the most inspiring time with the greatest people. It altered my brain chemistry, and I knew I had to have more of that feeling. That feeling of finding your people and creating just to create. And in looking to the future, I knew in order to do that, I had to take more time off work. And that leads us to the main reason I quit my job. I simply ran out of paid time off. So it's been like 2 weeks now since I handed in my resignation. I actually don't leave for another 3 weeks. It's like May the 3rd right now, so I don't leave till May 31st, just because there's a lot of like handoff stuff and notice periods. But yeah, like it still hasn't really hit me yet that I'll be leaving, so it doesn't feel real. And I only just told like the rest of the team recently, this week, that I am like leaving, and I handed in my notice. And obviously they were surprised, but they also kind of like saw it coming in a way. And like I said, it emotionally it hasn't hit me yet. Like I know for sure on that final week, just because I feel like I'm like so attached to like this job and my colleagues, and I've been here for like 6 years. It's gonna start to hit like real soon for sure. But yeah, like it's scary, honestly. We'll see how I feel like in like a week or two when it's closer to the date. Now, let's go back to the asterisk that I mentioned earlier. What a lot of people don't tell you is there's an asterisk at the end of the sentence, quitting my job to chase my dreams. And because I want to be real and transparent with you guys at all times, my asterisk is that I've gained certain privileges in life that makes chasing a dream easier. I'm not talking about silver spoon or golden platters type of privilege. I'm talking about these certain circumstances that you have in life or may work towards building to make chasing a dream even easier. Now, I'm telling you guys this because I don't want to sugarcoat my story and tell you to blindly follow your dreams, because personally, I feel like you have to be prepared for that chase. Because I personally wouldn't go start a marathon without being prepared. Yes, I dreamed about it, sure, but I just knew I couldn't do it in a whim. For me, it wasn't as simple as just quitting. So I knew I had to build these so-called privileges, or at least acknowledge that I had some pre-existing ones, and that the decision to move to this new chapter in life wasn't just overnight magic. I tried to capture my final week or my final day in the office, but for some reason, I just couldn't bring myself to. I could say it's because I was busy with work, but in all honesty, I was scared to, because it meant I was documenting the final moments of me giving up on this life that I was so used to. And because of how life works, the final few weeks was the most testing of that balance. There was just so much work with the 9 to 5 and so much shoots and brand deal stuff that I had to deal with that it solidified that I needed to quit. And in the process of all that, it meant I never got to take in this moment. So it still hasn't hit me to this day that I've left. Alright, so number one, I live at home and I have the most supportive parents. I do help pay rent, but it's minimal, and if I did struggle with money, my parents aren't gonna simply kick me out. So in a way, that worry of not having money for next month's rent is basically removed and kind of lets me be more comfortable in doing this full time. And because I feel like I had a year to kind of show, improve, and kind of convince them that this stuff could go well for me, it kind of helped them trust me much more. I remember when I had my first brand deal of like Lipton iced tea, and I showed my mum that I was able to make money through brands just asking me for videos. I remember the next day, like, she stocked up the fridge full of like lemon iced tea, and it was kind of like their own little way to saying like, I'm proud of you. So yeah, having really supportive Asian parents that support you in like creative endeavors is a privilege only a few of us have. Another thing that I feel like helps me with this journey is I have this like loving community of people around me. Like, not only do I have my parents that support me, but I have my girlfriend who practically just supports me in everything I do and literally helps me with a lot of these videos, and you see her in the videos being like the main subject or model. And the fact that she's able to understand the grind of like this whole journey just makes my part of the journey so much easier, even though it may not be for hers. So yeah, I honestly appreciate Hannah so much, and I feel like we honestly owe her everything for these videos that you're seeing. And yeah, not only my girlfriend, but I feel like my friends too, they also understand and support me with this journey. They know that I'm constantly grinding and shooting, and that I may not have time for people as much as I used to. And the fact that they're understanding of that, and we can still hang out occasionally without it changing a thing, that also is just like this great big help in this journey. And I've also got this privilege of meeting other creators around the world, which helps inspire me even more and kind of helps me keep going, because I want to be just like these people that I've met. And I still talk to a few people from camp like pretty often, and people like them just keep me going and keep me inspired on this journey. All right, so this next one is like one thing that really helps with like the fear of failure, is that I have a highly skilled job. So up until recently, I've been working as a web developer, and that industry pays pretty decent, and I feel like it's always going to be there for me to go back to. Unless, of course, AI kind of just takes over everything. But if it doesn't, then I could always just keep applying to jobs, and because I was a senior in my old place, and I have like these years worth of experience, it actually may not be that hard for me to jump back in. Touch wood. But yeah, as long as I keep up with those skills, I can always go back. And also, my previous company said if I really wanted to, I could just apply back to the company and they would probably sort something out. Okay, and now this one's something that I've kind of built towards for the past year, but just late last year, I signed to management. And Chloe, my manager, and the rest of the team, like Adam, Sydney, and Marley, they've been like the greatest management team ever. So yeah, so with Shift, I feel like brand deals and management have been like going so well, and I just have full trust and faith in them to just basically continue what they've been doing with me. So having that with them just makes the stream so much easier, and I honestly appreciate the Shift team. Even outside of the whole brand and contract management stuff, they've just been really cool people to just be friends with, and Chloe actually always gives like the best advice as a creator, so this whole privilege thing was actually her idea. Because when I told her that I was gonna do a whole quitting my work to chase my dreams video, She just felt like it would be nice if I was transparent to you guys and kind of just gave you every detail and kind of acknowledged that I am able to quit because I have these so-called privileges that I can go back to. Because yeah, I feel like a lot of creators don't really tell you kind of like the why and how they're able to quit their jobs to chase these dreams. They kind of just tell you that and hope that you're inspired to basically just quit just like them with a click of a finger. All right, I'm getting a little bit sidetracked, but my point is the fact that my management team are always giving advice and kind of helping me develop ideas like that, they've been the greatest. And honestly, I owe so much to them. All right, and this final one is basically, I'm playing it safe. Initially, when I did decide to quit, I gave myself 6 months. But I feel like now, just thinking about it, I'm kind of extending that to at least like 6 months to a year to kind of give this a go. Like, I'm getting older. Like, I'm not gonna repeat my age. I've already done a video of that. But yeah, I'm getting older and I feel like now's the time to try it. But that's why I'm only gonna give myself 6 to 12 months to see how it's like and see how I like it. Because who knows, I may even fall out of love with doing the content creating and filmmaking as my new 9 to 5. But yeah, I'm giving myself this timeline to decide if I like it or not. And if not, I'm gonna go back to my original 9 to 5 being a web developer. And another way that I've played it safe too is I've been saving. So the brand deal money and just like my 9 to 5 money, I've kind of just been putting that aside, and because of that, I feel like I'm good to kind of just chill for the next 6 to 12 months. But still, like, everything financially wise always scares me because you never know what could happen. But yeah, so the whole money and finance and tax and brand deal stuff is still like such a scary thought. But regardless of all that, I still feel like I've played it safe. So yeah, that's one of the main things in my asterisk is I've given myself a timeline to give it a try, basically. So this whole thing's just a free trial. Well, not free, but because it costs time and energy and sleep. But yeah, I gave myself a timeline. So yeah, that's basically what's in my asterisk. I've built this mindset that I've got this big undo button that if I were to fail, I could just kind of like go back to my old life. So that helps me worry less, is the fact that I can afford to fail. But again, that's like my experiences, my views, and my story. Because on the flip side, there are people who can't afford to fail. And that just makes them grind and drive even harder for like their success. And that just makes it even more fulfilling for them. And of course, regardless of where you stand on that affordability scale, the worth of your journey to your dream doesn't cost any less. Peter asks, are you scared? I am very scared. With the whole uncertainty of things and how different the pace is going to be to like how my life was previously, I'm like shitting myself. Although not as much as I thought I'd be, but maybe that's because it hasn't hit me yet. Or maybe subconsciously I've kind of like crossed the line where I have full faith in myself, hence I'm quitting my job. Kai says, what was your job? I was a web developer, software developer, whatever you call us, for Essential, mostly through the Chillin brand. Yeah, so I was just like making like the payment systems and the e-com systems on the website. Alex asks, did you save a large enough sum of money to live off before quitting? Yes, I saved off a large amount of money through like my just monthly pay from a 9 to 5, and of course like the brand deals that I've done throughout the year. So whenever I got a brand deal, I'd put 50% of that into like savings account. Did I manage to equal my 9 to 5 salary with creative income? In short, yes. Before tax, I managed to equal it within like the 6 months this year. So that's why I quit, fully knowing like if I gave it my all in the next 6 months, then I could potentially double it, or if not more, hopefully more. So a lot of finance questions, but how long did it take you creating content to get financially to a stage to quit? A year. So it took me a year of just making content and brand deals as well as pay. I think at one point too, like my incoming was as much as my outgoing, so financial months weren't smart. But yeah, it took me a year. I think the final finance question was what had to be in place before you make a decision. Finances, but at the same time, trust in myself that I was gonna commit to this for like the 6 to 12 months timeline that I set myself. Because if I didn't commit and I'll just be bumming it out for like 6 months, not doing anything, it's gonna be a waste of like my time. So yeah, I had to make sure that I was gonna commit to it, which I am so far.
For me, the long-term goal is just to keep doing creative shit. I just want to live on like my creativity. Like even if it doesn't mean like with content creation and brand deals, like maybe I will transition to like a creative director and art director for a company, or maybe even have like my own studio and like my own team. So that's a long-term goal, but that's why I quit, because I want to take these like 6 to 12 months to kind of figure out what I really want my long-term goal to be. So the long-term goal is to be creative forever. And let's ask, what made you want to pursue content creation full-time? How easy was that decision? I think for me, because I was able to like, personally, I believe, successfully create content while working a 9 to 5 and balancing that, I kind of just wanted to find out what would happen if I did that full-time. Like if I had all that time and energy into like content, because I've seen what I'm able to do with like a quarter of that energy. So what if I just went full 100% power into that? So that's what I'm trying to like see in these like next couple months. I want to see how good and how great I can make these videos, and this video alone is like almost like a testament like of that extra effort I'm adding. So that's kind of the reason why I want to pursue content creation full time. I just want to work on myself and make myself even better, because yeah, there's always room for improvement. Xiao asked, what was the final push? I honestly ran out of holiday. If I had like unlimited days off, paid time off, I totally would have stayed. Like that was for sure the final push, because I didn't want work to like get in between me living life and going to like these like great countries, doing these like pieces of work that I would love to do. So yeah, so if there's a company that can give me like unlimited time off, hit me up. Final question is, how will you be managing your time? I want to know too, because right now it's 5 AM in the UK. And I've just been working on this video for like the last 48 hours, running on like minimal sleep, probably like 5 hours sleep total. I want to know how to manage my time. But yeah, I know a few friends from camp, they time block, and Adrian Per did a recent video on like time blocking. So I want to try that. I want to figure it out. I think I'm gonna work a 9 to 5 still, if that makes sense. So you know, try to start my day at 9 and try to finish at 5, just so like I'm not trying to do content and like my mind's not on content 24/7, because I honestly feel like having a break is like key. And I know a few friends that are full-time content creators, they also don't film any content or like work on weekends. So I'm gonna try that, but yeah, we'll see. And speaking of time, I'm gonna call it a day, and hopefully that Q&A was helpful. If you want me to go more in depth, just hit me a DM. So
Even though it may seem like I have it all figured out, I don't. I've got so many more questions for myself in this journey, because it honestly hasn't hit me yet. It still doesn't feel real. The fact that I quit my job and I'm about to live this life that I've always thought to be a dream. Maybe it's because it's been a slow but very necessary transition into this new chapter. A new beginning, new fears, new challenges, new friends, new places, and even new dreams. Though one thing remains. Since officially leaving a week ago, I realized that I never really got to call myself what I've always wanted to all these years. But as I finish this video and start this new journey, I guess I can finally say those words. Hi, I'm Paolo, and I'm a full-time creator.
hi, I'm Paolo, and I'm a full-time creator. Hi, I'm Paolo, and I'm a full-time creator. I'm Paolo, and I'm a full-time creator. Look at that. And I'm a full-time creator. Yeah, got it. I'll be running